What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode on Proven Power Cycles. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Eric. I am the tuner here at Proven Power Cycles, and oh yeah, that's right, it's just me today. They can't make it today, and we have people coming in, naturally. I have two bikes that we got to get through on the dyno, and I have a Gen 3 boost that we're doing a chain and sprocket on. We also have some other projects here, but realistically, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through all of it today. Let's be real, because we also have people coming in. We have shipments getting dropped off. I also gotta eat lunch, believe it or not. And you know, there's just a lot going on. We already have the Gen 3, so we have this Gen 3 Busa. This is one of the jobs that I need to knock out today. We have a Gen 3 Busa, simple job. I just need to do a chain and sprocket. He just wants to re-gear it. But that is one of the jobs today. We do have some other things. I was trying to get some work done on my bike, and I was trying to get some work done on the other Gen 3 over there that we already did a cam swap on. Again, we have this bike I need to tune, and then we have an Indian outside that I need to get on the dyno as well and get through that. We have shipments coming in. We have an engine getting dropped off today. So usually whenever we get these engines dropped off, or these engine builds, I should say, it's not a quick, here you go, see you later. It's usually a little bit of consultation. It's usually a little bit of, here's our process. And we kind of do a little bit of breaking in, if you will. Not breaking in. We do a little bit of like a process with drop-offs, and we let them know exactly what to expect. So there's no surprises, that we are as clear and as transparent. You know, that's my message to you guys all the time. I'm always being as transparent as I can be to you guys. I'm always trying to be as clear as I can to you guys. I really do. I really am. That's what I strive for. So it's going to be a tough day. This list grows every day, and so does our other whiteboards. We have 3 total whiteboards here that we kind of track stuff, along with some other notation. But we kind of go through everything just on jobs or tasks, I should say, not jobs, but tasks that we need to accomplish. I try to list everything out every day to make sure that we are moving every project along, and that nobody's forgetting it, because it's right in front of our face all the time. Now, before we get too far into this video, something I did want to bring to light. We are officially having a dyno day. Let that sink in. So the dyno day is going to take place on December 14th. Here, obviously, at the shop. We are going to host the event. We're going to have a few people kind of helping us out with it all. And we still need to finalize some calls. We still need to finalize some deals. But all in all, we're going to host it here. We're going to be running bikes on the dyno, doing fun little 3-puller. Basically, we're going to have a fun little day. Not little day. It's going to be a cool day. It's going to be fun. It's going to be dope. I can't wait. I'm extremely nervous about it. This is going to be one of the first events that I'm actually physically hosting. I've been a part of dyno days, but this is the first one I'm going to be hosting. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. And I hope it goes pretty smooth. So we're going to have food, drinks. We're going to have bikes, obviously. We're going to have some bikes on display. We're going to bring all of our bikes, put them on display. We're going to have some friends' bikes. We're going to put those on display, some really cool bikes. Trust me, we're going to have some cool stuff to look at. We're going to allow bike parking here. There's some details that we're still trying to hash out. We're trying to figure out a few things. We're going to have trophies, and we're going to try to throw out some prizes as well. Like throughout the day, we're going to be doing raffles and stuff throughout the day. So it'll be pretty cool. I wanted to throw that out there now on at least YouTube, and we're going to start advertising here in some of the local bike groups. All in all, very excited for that. So if you guys are somewhat local, please, if you could, make it down here. That'd be really cool. It's going to be from 2 to 8 p.m. All right, on Saturday, December 14th. We made it a Saturday so that everybody's happy. Very few people are going to be working compared to the normal work week. So this way we can maximize how many people can actually make it. So safety first, guys. All right, here's a little before. Watch the wheel movement. Horrible. And I'm really giving it some force, guys. And it takes a lot of to get that thing moving. This would be the type of bike that I would really love to dyno and then do a chain and sprocket and then re-dyno, because I know we would pick up power on this thing. This is it's pretty, like, has a lot of drag to it. So we're gonna fix this thing up. We're gonna get this thing moving so much more freer, less resistance, and then not only that, but it's gonna be looking. So we have the chain in stock. I'm waiting on the sprocket still. They were supposed to be delivered last week. They weren't. So we're waiting on the sprockets currently right now for this bike in particular, the gearing that he wants. And once we get those, we're gonna start swapping everything out. But I recommend you guys, when you are doing your chain and sprocket, you know, get this loose first, the rear sprocket, especially if you're using hand tools. I would loosen up that rear sprocket first. And also, well, no matter what, it's gonna be kind of difficult if you are using purely hand tools, but the front, you're gonna need an impact for, you're gonna need an impact wrench, or impact gun, I should say, for the front. But these, again, if you're using primarily hand tools, loosen up your rear sprocket nuts first before you kind of go into the job. So we have impacts. I'm gonna go ahead and use it. We have a brushless that's really nice, so it should take these things right off. And yeah, we're gonna go from there. So this is all new to the Gen 3. Basically this bracketry, it's mainly to hold in that cover, but I can tell you, this is pretty cool. I like this all in all. I mean, it's a little annoying because there's extra steps, but all in all, I do like this because it kind of gives you that added protection in case you have a chain failure. The older models, there's an aftermarket billet piece that you can install. I call them a case saver, where if this chain snaps and it goes this way, that will save the motor, or at least you hope so. It should be strong enough. I mean, it looks pretty damn well crafted. I mean, it is an OEM part, but I think they did a pretty good job, and it serves as a dual purpose too. So it's a mounting bracket as well as a case saver. So I told you guys I would show you a trick. I'll actually show you two tricks. One trick is, a lot of times people will accidentally pull this chain off before they loosen the nut. You want to leave the chain on to give it some drag, so when you do go to loosen this nut, it does not kick it off. The second trick, if you don't have an impact gun, which I highly recommend you do this with an impact, but if you are on the side of the road, or your only option basically is to do it with manual tools, you can either you got to leave the chain intact, okay? Obviously, this is like if you're on the side of the road and I don't know, something happens. You either leave the chain intact, throw the master link back in it, and you can put it up there. And then what you want to do, more or less, is you want to stop that front wheel or that rear wheel from turning forward anymore. So what you want to do is either put like a piece of wood or something soft through here, through this swing arm, so that it blocks the spoke from turning. And what that'll do is kind of lock up the chain for you. Some people will put it in first gear. I really don't recommend that, because now you're kind of banging against the gears, and it's really not good for the transmission. But again, this is like in extreme situations. If you're stuck, that would be my recommendation to you guys. But again, if you're at home, get yourself an impact, do it with an impact, so therefore you can minimize the amount of damage. There it goes. And look at that buildup. So whenever you guys, right here, whenever you guys see buildup like this, where you're starting to really see the lube really building up, now obviously you're not really going to be in the front sprocket area. Most of the time you're going to have pretty easy access to the rear sprocket. But if you see this buildup around the teeth, clean that off, okay? Get that as clean as you can, because that buildup creates added friction, and when you get that added friction, you get less horsepower, all right? And it kind of just adds a lot of resistance to the motor too. So Keep these as clean as possible. Keep the rear as clean as possible if you want to maximize your horsepower. This is all free horsepower tips, all right? This is what's going to make extra power, is having these things all cleaned. All right, guys, so a little update on the ZX10R here on the shop bike. We did a few things here, and it's going to be kind of hard to tell some of the things just because of, well, the bike's not on the ground yet. So, but I just want to show you guys kind of like what we're doing here to get it prepped for super stock, the super stock class for XDA. So I wanted to go over the bike real quick with you guys. So the things that we've done so far, well, just recently, we went ahead and put a 120 by 60 tire on the front. And what that does, it's a lower profile tire. So it's gonna enable us to lower that front end just a little bit more. And what you can't really tell, and I know I need to put the front fender on, we're not done yet, but so the front fender needs to go back on. I'm gonna get this green crap peeled off. I kinda wish I'd have told Lewis before he did that. But anyway, we're gonna get this green tape off. We're gonna get the fender back on. I got some little 3M wrap, this carbon wrap. I thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of hide the green. I'm trying to do away with the green. So I'm gonna eventually get black forks. I'm gonna go with a darker set of forks to kind of go with the bike. But for right now, I'm working with what I got. I wanna get out there and start practicing. So I just said, screw it. So what I did is I did an internal cut on these forks. I didn't do it super crazy, just in case if I want to put this bike back to like kind of like a street trim, if you will, or when we go to get rid of the bike, when we raffle it, when we go down that road, I am going to make sure that it's still going to be street friendly, but it will be obviously lower internal forks, you know, whenever we do sell it, or we'll see what happens. But either way, we cut the internal, so when we actually drop this bike, it's gonna be a lot lower in the front end. And the reason being is because we're allowed a 2-inch ground clearance on this bike. So we're gonna hit that 2-inch clearance. So, and that is measured from the ground to anything metal. So the lowest point right now is gonna be the exhaust system. We're gonna have to measure 2 inches off the ground and touch the exhaust system. And once we kind of get to that number, that's where we're gonna be as far as the clearance height that we can start competing at. So I'm gonna get some practice on this bike. There are a few other things that I need to do. I need to put the stock cluster back in. I need to put a rear brake back on it. And the stock seat needs to go on it, and I need to get these side pieces. I have the side pieces, they're just getting airbrushed actually currently. So once I get those things, then I can more or less get this thing in the super stock class. There are a few other rules that I'm gonna see if they're gonna let us get by with. One of which is kind of a silly rule. I understand it, but it's kind of silly to me. The plastics have to be an OEM paint color, or paint scheme rather. So it has to be like the factory graphics and all that. But I'm gonna see if they'll allow this, because we did just get it painted and everything. You know, I don't see why that would be a big ordeal. I understand that some people are gonna cheat and they're gonna try to get like fiberglass plastics, like lightweight plastics. But in this case, these OEM plastics are pretty damn light. I don't see what the advantage would be, honestly. I get the carbon. I can understand the carbon trim, you know, something like that. I got no problem. We can go back to OEM or whatever. But all in all, I'm gonna see if we can get away with that, if they'll let us get away with that. But other than that, everything else looks great. Or everything else is coming together, I should say. So soon we'll be taking this thing to the track and testing the quarter-mile track times on this thing with the new setup. I'm hoping that we can get into the high 8s with this. If we can land like an 898 or an 890, at least we'll be on the board. I'm not gonna say we're gonna be in the top 2, top 3 per se, because those guys are really cooking right now. They're in the 870s, which is moving for a super stock bike, for a stock wheelbase bike. That's fast. So my hat goes off to those guys. Teasley and all them boys, they are moving on these bikes. But all in all, if I can get, like I said, if I can get into the high 8s with this bike, I'll be happy. I'll be satisfied. I can actually be competitive at that point, and it'll be fun. Let me put it that way, it'll be fun. It's not like I'm getting kicked out real quickly for the most part. I have a chance of making it a little further. So, but all in all, I need seat time. I need a lot of seat time. So we're gonna take this thing out to the track here soon. This coming Thursday, well, actually, by the time this video hits, it might actually already be past it, but we are gonna be out at Bradenton Motorsports Park and testing out Sean Henson. He's got a grudge bike, really nasty grudge bike, but We're going to be testing his bike. Not hopefully. I will be making sure that this bike makes it out there. So we're going to start getting some seat time coming up this Thursday. So I wanted to give you guys an update. Once we get this bike back on the ground and we get it all kind of settled in, I'll show you guys how it looks with the cut forks and everything. I think it's looking pretty sharp. Obviously, it's not a road course bike. I know my road course guys are going to be screaming at me, this is blasphemy, but I think this is going to be pretty dope. It's going to be a pretty fun little bike. But tell me what you guys think so far. Give me all the criticism you got. So tell me how bad I am for doing this. But all in all, wait till you see this finished product. For those of you who are interested in this super stock sport, reach out to us, give us calls, let us know what you think. Let us know if you guys want us to put you together a little package, and we can get your bike set up for super stock also. So we're trying to grow the class. We're trying to get more people out there and get involved in it. So, but all in all, I'm very, very happy with how this bike's coming together. Very, very happy.